Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Negative Alpha Bravo. And this is 7 November Golf. Roger, request you check your Romeo side. I'll go ahead and check my Tango side. 7 November Golf out. 7 November 8 and 8 class 7 November, say again. 7 November, go. Roger, I copied a while ago, 1 Charlie transmission that my can use Charlie. 7 November, go. 1 Charlie, Charlie. And 8 5, this is 7 November, Charlie. 8 5, right there. Now 1 Charlie, 7 November, go.
This is 1 Charlie, in reference to your last, you're Brandon 158 extra 5 o'clock, 1200 between teams, and local. Also request your unit take inbound message to see if we can try to get Whiskey 9 and 8 for pause with the playground.
And this is 7 November, Roger, stand by.
Got that.
Got it? Alright. And all units, this is 7 November Golf. My unit Alpha, Echo, X-ray Alpha, Alpha in there.
One Charlie, Alpha Bravo.
Yeah, I never took a dip. I forgot to take a dip.
Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Whiskey 9, Yankee, 7 November Golf, over. This is Whiskey 9, go. Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Whiskey 9, Yankee, 7 November Golf, over. This is Whiskey 9, go. Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Negative Alpha Bravo. And this is 7 November Golf. Roger, request you check your Romeo side. I'll go ahead and check my Tango side. 7 November Golf out. 7 November 8 to 5. And 8 class 7 November, say again. Roger, I sent you 7 November, go. Roger, I copied a while ago, 1 Charlie transmission that my
All right, everybody. Welcome to another stream. I definitely appreciate everyone who comes out to the stream always. Seriously, we're on YouTube and LinkedIn. It's going to be members for the first 30 minutes, and after that, it'll be open as always. No, you don't have to be a member. Just wait till 4 Eastern. Let me set my alarm because I will forget. And then we'll just start answering some questions. I got to pick up the babies at around like 4:40-ish. So we got about an hour and 40 minutes. Okay. Going straight to this question here. Do you know of at least one specific... This happens every time I forget to adjust my screen. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Let me adjust my screen. Shame on me. Okay. Do you know... Do you know of at least one specific complaint that I could discuss with his primary care doctor that could help link cervical strain secondary to an already connected lumbar strain? I need to just break this down. Cervical strain. Okay, so you want to go cervical strain, which is your neck, secondary to your lower back. Yeah, the evidence will show the spine. That would be most advantageous if you can get x-rays or MRIs, whatever that looks like for you, to show how maybe your degenerative disc disease or IVDS at 40%. It's a severe lower back rating, that's for sure. And so it's more likely than like a 10% to show that. But it would be just speaking with your primary care. Okay, showing how that lower spine condition kind of crawled up the spine over time, and now it's affecting your entire back, or it's affecting the posture of your neck, right? So your lower back's hurting. Maybe you kind of looking, this is an exaggeration, but maybe you're looking down over time, that can absolutely have an effect. And that would be my recommendation. It's difficult for me to speak on that without having your evidence, but logically, that's what veterans would want to see when going, upper spine, secondary to middle or lower spine. All right, good question though. Appreciate that. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for joining. Appreciate that. Welcome to the club. Make sure you download Discord. That's extremely important. All right. Can you file a solid claim without STRs, knowing there's nothing to report in them for PTSD? So PTSD is a different beast than every other claim. Okay. There's specific guidance in M21 TAC 1. That's the policy. It's like the regulation VA uses when making decisions. PTSD has something called stressors. And so there's specific guidance on how to find stressors, where to find stressors from. Service treatment records is one area. There are many, many, many different, for instance, personnel records could indicate a stressor occurred or did not occur. Okay. There are many more. That's just one example. And second thing is you don't need your medical records from service in hand when submitting a claim. The VA is going to have an easier job when it comes to getting federal records. Our treatment records from service is federal. The VA can handle that. So you don't need them. But when it comes to that stressor, think about what caused your PTSD. Did you see someone commit suicide? Were you in combat? Were you in fear for your life? And when were you in fear for your life? Is that annotated in your personnel records? To give you an example for me, in my fitness report, which is an annual report, or at a minimum an annual report the Marine Corps does on E5 and above, that fitness report specifically had operation names because there were some other stuff going on. And so that would be an indicator to saying, hey, I was in this place and these actions were taking place. That was Syria against the Islamic State. But that's just one example of no medical evidence isn't there, but there's this other beast over here called evidence other than medical. And for PTSD, that means stressors. Okay. Great question. Thank you. Nuclear Chicken, the moderator of the CivDiv Discord. Thank you very much, dude. Appreciate that. As a reminder for everyone, while Clay is doing the live stream on YouTube, he does not look at Discord. No, I don't. My phone's over here. I'm not going to open it up. Make sure to ask your questions here for being answered. Yes, please. Appreciate that, Nuclear, and thank you for everything. Okay. Also, that request I gave you, make sure you fill that out so we can get this going. Okay, I'm going to Israel, and we'll be helping my brother who had an MST in the Navy. Was wondering if the VA has VSOs or reps in Israel. I don't think so. Okay. I don't think so at all. Now, your brother can look or work with a VSO online. I can tell you Del K. Graham Veterans Foundation works with veterans online. I have no idea about county or the national level VSOs, veteran service organizations, but Del K. Graham does. They're out of Oklahoma. They will work with your brother online. Now, there's a time difference there, so that's going to suck. He might have to stay up really late or wake up really early one day. But that would be my recommendation, John Sullivan. And also, take care of yourself, man. Okay, Outlaw. What's up, Outlaw? Thank you for coming to the stream. Appreciate it. Lynn, thank you. Catching another live. Thank you for coming. There's no questions. There's no live stream. Remember that. All right, super chat from Secret Sauce. Long-time fan of the channel, Secret Sauce. Just become a member at this point, dude. Just become a member, okay? If a claim is taking longer than normal, does that usually mean a denial? No, that's zero indication on anything outside of it being a fully developed claim, okay? Fully developed claim. I've seen a true FDC. People think they have a fully developed claim. It's not. I've seen an actual FDC get approved in 6 days. But outside of fully developed claims, there's zero indication for that claim taking 3 months or 6 months or 9 months or a year and a half as to whether or not that'll be service connected. Zero indication. John Sullivan, thank you very much, man. Thank you for being a member and take care of yourself in Israel. Okay. All right. Nuclear Chicken, above is the link to join Discord. There's a video in the introduction channel that tells you how to link your Discord account. Yes, Nuclear Chicken doing Discord moderator things. Thank you very much for doing that. Killian, thank you. No need. Thank you. There's no need to donate at all. At 4 o'clock, it'll be open. This is just for members of the Discord to get their questions in. But Killian, thank you very much. I know you're in the Discord. I definitely appreciate that. Okay, Secret Sauce, did you get your stuttering service connected? No, I've always had a speech impediment. Thank you, Dick. No. Even when I was in kindergarten, I remember doing therapy. There was these flavored popsicles that actually tasted good, and my tongue muscles were just weak. And so we would put the popsicle stick, kind of like that. And then we would do kind of like tongue sit-ups, and the tongue would have to go behind the popsicle stick. And so I've always had a speech impediment. I've always stuttered. R's got the best of me for a long time. I'd be like, Wabbit would be me. Yeah, man. It is pretty funny, though, that I have an actual stutter and do a podcast, no editing with Jason, hour-long episodes. Sometimes it really comes out. Sometimes it doesn't. And then I have a YouTube channel. I think it goes to show that, dude, you got to worry about yourself, Even if you have a stutter, hop on the camera, talk whenever you want. It'll be good. It'll be all right. I just got 100% P&T first time go after a year and a half waiting for the VA to adjudicate my claim. I was also AGR. Dude, congrats. Look at that. So what, year and a half waiting, Secret Sauce? I hope that gives you some credence for your claim. This veteran here was 100% or got awarded 100% P&T after a year and a half. Congrats to you, Cheddar Roman. Dude, 100% P&T. Welcome to the club. Don't forget to take advantage. I'm trying to drink this. Don't forget to take advantage of your state benefits. I have a few state benefit videos on the channel, but definitely Google your state VSO. For instance, like Virginia has the Department of Veteran Services. Maryland has their VSO. Every state has their county or state VSOs. And that website should tell you all of your requirements and veteran benefits, like property tax exemptions, your DV license plate, if that's what you want, and a few others, okay? IBS was granted at 30%, but claim for chronic hives was denied. Should I request HLR? So, Sarah, this goes for everyone, okay? No one can give you advice on a denial without, at a minimum, seeing the decision letter. So if you believe evidence was missed or the VA did not follow the process for whatever reason because you understand the context of that claim, then yes, go for the HLR. If you were denied because, for instance, you don't have evidence from service or you don't have a current diagnosis, then an HLR won't do anything for you. It'll just come back denied again, assuming there's no duty to assist error. And so it depends. Should you go HLR? Should you go supplemental? The question is, why were you denied in the first place? HLRs, and this is very general. This is the biggest generalization possible. But for HLRs, I generally see those be awarded for conditions that are already service connected. So for instance, like an increase. So you get migraines at 0, you do an HLR to get it at 30 or 50, right? Because you have the evidence. Generally, that's where HLRs come in clutch. For supplemental claims, you'll see that come in clutch for a service connection. Can that be both ways? Absolutely, it can, but that's what I see more than anything. Okay, Billy Hartman. Talking about stressors, do you know if PMO keeps records of incidents that occur on base? I'm sure they do, and that would absolutely be one, assuming like you had a huge event happen or you are in fear for your life or whatever that looks like. If so, could any veteran request those records? That I don't know. You might have to call the that provost marshals, I think would be the correct term there. If so, my idea how to access those records. Yeah. contact that base for sure. Contact the PMO office. That is very specific. I genuinely don't know. But you could, it seems possible. Also in your like personnel records, that might be something that's at least mentioned, right? If you were arrested or went to the brig or went to like, not the brig, but the jail. You were quarantined inside the PMO office, whatever. Happiness, what's up? Thank you for coming to the stream. Clay, I'm 30% service connected for CAD or coronary heart disease. Okay. Cognitive heart disease. I was recently diagnosed with sleep apnea and received CPAP. Is that a strong secondary claim? You would have to argue that your heart condition is constricting your airway. I'm not a heart doctor at all. I don't even know if that's a thing. But if it is, if your heart condition is obstructing your airway, obstructive sleep apnea, then yes, right? So we see that in anxiety and high blood pressure. Those are all kind of in that same loop of obstructing your airway. It could be. I don't know enough about heart conditions to say that definitively, but I'm sure a quick search could definitely show you that. But it makes sense to me as a dude in his basement. At the end of the day, Chester, you want to talk to your primary care and ask them, saying, "Hey, I have sleep apnea. I have this heart disease. Is that obstructing my airway?" And see what they say, and get that in your medical records. All of a sudden, now you have evidence indicating the secondary exists, which is much, much better than you just saying it exists. Okay, that would be my advice, though. Brew family, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate you joining. My wife texted me. Hold on. Okay. Pointless. Make sure you download Discord, link your account. Nuclear Chicken will help you every step of the way. He's very patient. I promise he's very patient. I've seen it on the Discord myself. Killian says, I know it's not needed, but I will still keep supporting you. Hey, Killian, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And congrats to you and your rating, dude. Seriously. I hope that alleviates the financial stress in your life. For real. All right, John Sullivan. Thanks, Clay. I'll be helping my brother through Thursday watching your videos. I was able to get 100%. Yes, we have a ton of members. You know what, Nuclear? If you're still watching this, I'll hit you up on Discord just in case you're not. We're probably going to make a 100% P&T tag for members, just so I want to track, because we have a lot of members that did reach 100% P&T. And thank you for sticking around. Okay, thank you for sticking around. Definitely appreciate that. But we'll have to make something for the P&Ters that are members. Let's just show that evidence-based claims actually work. Who would have thought you need evidence for your claim? Wild. Okay. Filed sleep apnea and migraine secondary to PTSD. Okay. VA deferred my claim due to Tara medical opinion. Although I didn't mention Tara as a link, does that mean my secondary was denied? Probably it does. So they denied your secondary, but the VA still has a duty to assist, and they could be looking at Tara, which isn't bad. I have one friend who was rated sleep apnea and migraines both on Tara, same person. It's possible. It's not common, but it's possible, and that's a pretty big indicator that they're not looking at a medical opinion for the secondary connection. They're looking at it for Tara. Okay. Now that same person who does the Tara exam could also look at the secondary. Just depends on what the VA requests of them. But generally speaking, to answer your question, that means probably yes. All right. Examiner wrote, impact still working, has wellness room at work for the rest for 10 minutes at time, not missing work for headaches typically, and checked no for A, for B. How do you think I'll be rated? You're still working. So the examiner doesn't understand 38 CFR, nor have they ever looked at it. They're just reporting on what you tell them and the evidence in your file. That's what they're supposed to do. So if you are still working, there are tons of veterans, myself included, who have migraines at 50% that still work. Now, it depends on your medication. My medication, if I take sumatriptan, I will go to sleep. It's just, I get super lightheaded and I kind of get nasally almost and I knock out. I can still work, okay? And so I'll usually take my medicine at the end of the workday, but you're still working. I assume you're on medication, okay? You have to take rest for 10 minutes for headaches. There's a difference between headaches and migraines. So it just depends on what that is. Lynn, I would really want to know the frequency of your headaches, okay? And if you're on prescribed medication, what it is and the dosage. Right? 100 milligrams of sumatriptan will put you down for sure, versus like 15 milligrams. So it just depends on the frequency and the severity of that. But you're still working, okay? It's not a economic and adaptability issue. It's frequency and severity. Any news on the MH changes? Nope, none, not at all. Just April of 2025. That is it. In fact, let me, I'll put a video down below if I can find, goodness gracious. If I can find, that's not what I want. Yeah, this is what we were using. Let me show you the 2025 video. I'll go ahead and pin it. That's the most up-to-date information we have. I really don't like looking at thumbnails, but here it is. I'll share this bad boy. And these are the most updated changes or the most updated information for the mental health changes. All right, Will Martin. What's up, Clay? First live stream as a member. Welcome to the family, Will. Download Discord if you're a member. Link your account. It's essentially a Q&A 24/7, okay? I just went through and answered everyone's questions right before I hopped on here just to have a clean slate. Usually when we do a live Q&A, questions get backed up there for a couple of days, so that's probably going to happen again. As always, thank you for what you do. Thank you, Will Martin. Appreciate that. Nuclear chicken. It looks like my link I posted did not go through. Sorry, no big deal. It's on the channel, okay? If you are a member or non-member, non-members can also join the channel or the Discord. All you have to do is go to the channel, and it is the first link right here. You just click that link right there, okay? Boom, it'll take you to it. Or you can click that link if you want to know who I am. There it is. And then you can see another link for Discord, our website, and then my LinkedIn account. All right, bada bing, bada boom. Lynn, examiner, also wrote at least as likely as not. So you're going to be service connected, okay? As not headaches related to. Oh, and you got secondary. Okay. And you got secondary. Feel like I'm going to get lowballed. It's difficult to say with your previous statement. I still want to know. I would want to know your prescribed medication if you're on any and the frequency you're taking it. Right? If you're issued 9 pills as an example and you're using 3 per month, you have hard medical evidence to show frequency and severity. So that would be my first question. Mortarman claim TBI as an occupational hazard yet. So I'm a mortarman. You can't see it. I have a hoodie on, but I have a huge 0341 tattoo right there. I also have a TBI. It's not presumptive in a way, okay? And it's not necessarily just because you're a mortarman, you're more prone to TBI. If you're on the receiving end, that changes things a bit, okay? Your artillery shot at like charge 5, hundreds of rounds, definitely for sure. For mortars, it would be a very far reach to say this TBI stemmed from my time on the gun line. Not impossible. It's definitely there. But it's not going to be as clean cut as like actually having an event with head trauma or around explosions. Okay. Not 100 meters out. I'm talking like boom right there. Okay. Karen Young, Thanks for all you do for us. Do you know how one ad changes their direct deposit info? Super, super easy. I assume you mean through the VA. You just go. I would show you, but I don't want to log in my personal stuff on live. You go to va.gov, and in the search bar, you can just search direct deposit. That would be the easiest way to find it. Click the first link on va.gov. It'll shoot you over to change your direct deposit information, and then you can change it right then and there. You can also call the VA, and they can walk you through that process over the phone. So those would be my 2 recommendations for you, Karen. You can also go to an accredited rep. They can help you out as well, like a VSO. Any of those options would work. All right, Jay Sweep. Thank you for being a member, by the way. Appreciate that. Jay Sweep says, since the June 21 update on private DBQs, I'm so glad you brought this up. Me and Jason just did a video on this, which I need to upload, by the way. I forgot. Have you seen anyone be able to see the VBMS note on why a private Nexus was kicked? No, I have not at all. Haven't even heard of it. Most people don't even know that change even happened. I made sure to send that to all, like Dr. Sharma has it, because he's doing DBQs. Haven't heard anything outside of that. I think it's a way for the VA to more efficiently, this is totally my opinion. I think the change specifically is for the VA to track efficiently more indications of fraud for follow-on things. Right? I don't think it was an actual change to prevent it. I think it was a better way to track it and prevent the collateral, right? If the VA goes for that situation, there's going to be a lot of collateral damage, meaning people who didn't commit fraud are now roped in this because they're looking at indications of fraud. That's a rabbit hole, though. We're gonna get off that topic. Great question, though, Jay Sweep. Their narrative stated, I did not have a Nexus event, but I handed the examiner my service treatment record with the Hive event during my CMP. Oh, okay. If it's in your service treatment records, there's also competing evidence. That's also a factor as well. But if it's in your STRs, that right there is enough for me to do a higher level review to at least get a second set of eyes on that. So yeah, Sarah, I think with this comment now, I would feel comfortable saying or recommending a higher level review. All right, it's that time. Does Dr. Sharma take new clients for continuing treatment online, leaving VA medical system? So he doesn't have his own private practice. He teaches psychiatry, and then he does his concise psych stuff. So no, he does not. I know you can't tell timelines. However, my submittal claim has been in RFD since end of August. Can you offer anything about calling outside of that? I would want to know how long that submittal has been submitted. And right about me personally, the 9-month mark of total claim from not your original claim, the submittal, right? The submittal claim. Once you file submittal to 9 months, the White House hotline that's when I start recommending that. Once you're at that 9-month mark for that. You can also you would have to have a solid accredited rep that is diligent, okay? And you can ask them what's taking so long in the process, and then they can go on VBMS and actually see, hey, is this claim, let me change the permissions. Let me make it open. So now anyone can add a comment. Once I change this, hold on, let me change this real quick. Change this to anyone, save it. Boom, it's saved. Okay, so the chat's open. Go ahead. If you're not a member, go ahead and throw it in the chat. You should be able to talk right now. But yeah, that would be my recommendation is White House hotline, or find someone with VBMS access that is diligent, that they can see if your claim is moving, right? Or if it's just been stagnant for the last month, right? Nice. Okay. Clay, just jumping on here to let you know how thankful I am for you and all you do for the vet community. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, Matthew. Thank you very much. All right, Jerry, do VA claim clinics expedite your claim if not rated that day at the clinic? That's the word on the street. And so, not every VA claim clinic is the same. Okay. I'll speak on the Louisville claim clinic at the VFW National Convention. Everyone I've spoken to, with the exception of 2 people, we're talking like 80-ish people right now, probably more. 80 is a low. There was a ton of people that showed up, which is just insane. Thank you, by the way. Out of those who showed up, all of their claims were either decided or expedited, except for 2 people. And I believe those 2 were both denied, if I can remember correctly. If that's you, send me an email for an update so I can just give that correct information. But but everyone who had like FDCs and went and submitted, if not rated that day, it was within that 2-week window. And I believe everyone's claim is closed now. So yes, I think everyone's claim was expedited, even if they couldn't get rated that day for like specialty reasons, development reasons, whatever that looked like. Okay, what kind of guy do you think I am? I never got arrested. Oh yeah, okay. I got confused there. I had a neighbor kick in my door and attack me. Yeah, if that's definitely contact your whatever office that occurred at. You could also look at like on base. I don't know if that was on base housing or not. I assume it was because you're talking about military police on base. But I would also go the housing route, okay? And maybe there's a work order, something that indicates the event happened. That would be pretty solid, okay? Big B, thanks, Clay, for all you do. You do not have to recognize me. I'm just grateful for what you do. I'm thankful. Big B is one of the first viewers of the channel when I started. So yes, I must recognize you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, J Sweep, have you seen anyone with a rejected private DBQ since the June where the VA? No, we just spoke on that, J Sweep. I know you added some more stuff to that, but same thing as I said. I don't think that change was to prevent fraudulent DBQs. I think that change was to track them more efficiently and limit collateral damage when it comes to those with indicators who genuinely did not commit fraud. That's my opinion. We'll have to wait and see on that. The VA OIG did testify at the subcommittee in the House Subcommittee for Veteran Affairs, HVAC, House Veteran Affairs Committee. So we'll have to see. Only time will tell. It's not going to be pretty. That I know for sure. After 16 years of 100% PTSD, says no to future exams. If leave via psychiatrist, can they reduce my rating? No, you don't have to continue healthcare for benefits at all, especially at PNT. That's more of a healthcare thing. For instance, I was seeing VA healthcare since I got out, and then I didn't like it. It's a long story to that. I did not like it at all. I almost despise mental health care personally. I don't let that sway your opinion. But yeah, not a fan. Okay. Not a fan, but your rating's not in jeopardy because you did not do that. All right, just wondering, been wanting to ask forever. The stutter drives me crazy, not trying to be a dick. It's fine, dude. You're a long time fan of the channel as well. You can say whatever you want. I got you. I have very thick skin. Trust me. All right, Sean Edwards, thank you for being a member. Hi, Clay. Do submittal claims take the same amount of time for VA to process as regular claims? I just submitted a supplemental after gathering a bunch of medical evidence thanks to you. Awesome. Evidence-based claims are the way to go. And that depends, Sean. It depends on how developed your claim already was in the initial phase. You have the supplemental with the new evidence. Does that make it fully developed, right? I can tell you fully developed supplemental claims it appears that fully developed claims that are supplementals go really fast. So it just depends on what exactly you submitted, right? If you submitted a If you submitted medical evidence that combats the reason for denial, so it's new and relevant, that's good. If you submitted an independent medical opinion with a DBQ, that would be really good for, especially for a supplemental appeal. So it just depends on what that looks like. Let's assume you didn't do any of that and it was just evidence that was new and relevant. It's probably going to be on par with the standard claim. Can you get PTSD diagnosis by a psychiatrist by video visit? And would the VA accept it? My brother can't get diagnosed in Israel because, yeah, okay. Yes, you can get healthcare. So I don't want to. Answer is yes. Okay. Same scenario for me. It was through video. The answer is yes. Now, not on a one-time visit. You would want, for PTSD specifically, you would want to go the VA route. I know it's going to be a little difficult, obviously. But yes, if you're going private practice, they can diagnose via telehealth. But it's going to take more than one visit, right? A diagnosis on a one-time visit is not as strong as you would like it to be. In fact, I'm going to link a video for your brother here when it comes to, it talks about securing static ratings. But the biggest takeaway is having your evidence trail for whatever claim you're talking about. So a one-time diagnosis is still a diagnosis. It's just not as strong. It doesn't carry the same weight as over time healthcare, right? All right, Clayton C, you have a pretty name there, young fella. Okay, hey bro, appreciate, yeah, thanks. My sleep apnea was denied. They said even though they see my sleep study diagnosed, now says there's no nexus. Yeah, I assume you mean this was a secondary claim. The only time I've ever seen direct sleep apnea claims, there's two instances. One is if the veteran was diagnosed sleep apnea in cert service, which is not common. The second one is via Terra, which is also not common. Okay. Both of those are not common at all. I'll get to, oh, okay. We're almost there. All right. We have tons of questions. But yeah, I assume that's secondary, dude. And if it is secondary, you'll have the diagnosis. Sleep apnea secondary for denials are, I don't want to say require because they technically don't, but that's when you really want to start considering a medical opinion from that specialty of whatever we're talking about, right? So if it's mental health, you probably want a psychiatrist for that. And that's, I'm just kind of rounding your answer because I don't know the context of which you were denied. Tio Straz with a Z, thank you very much for joining the channel. Make sure you download Discord, link your account, and you can ask me questions all day. Sean Edwards, thank you for being a member. No reason to do that. I appreciate it, though. I hope I answered your question. All right, if you have to do re-exams on mental health where you are service-connected on old CFR, but it changes, what criteria? Yeah. So once you are, let's say you submit an increase after the changes are in effect, you are now on the new rating schedule. Now, I say that, I also want to show you this 38 CFR code on rating changes specifically, and I believe it's 38 CFR 3.951. Yes, it is this. Okay. I'm showing you this because I know someone's going to ask. Okay, let's read this together. Let me actually zoom in so you can see a little more clear because this is going to be very important for everyone to see. I just did a video on this. It's going to come out at 6 p.m. today Eastern on this part. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about that. Watch the video. I'm going to talk about the first one. So a readjustment to the schedule for rating disabilities like mental health, sleep apnea, tinnitus, GERD, and IBS that just happened in May. So say this with me. Shall not be infringed. No. shall not be grounds for reduction of a disability rating in effect on the date of the readjustment. Okay, and so the criteria change happens, you're safe. There's nothing that's going to happen. You submit an increase after the change goes into effect. It's free game. That can be it's not free game. You're going to be evaluated on the new criteria. If you have the intent to file prior to the changes, you'll be evaluated on both criteria. And the beauty of that is the VA must give you the highest of the rating. They have to, okay? Now, someone asked me what the M21 TAC 1 policy on that was. I'm going to link that video too. That I'm not going to go into because it's a long explanation. You're going to have to watch the video for that. But someone's going to want to know where it's at. And so let me look for this. M21 TAC 1. Where is this at? Where is this at? Am I going to be able to? I think it's this one. Let me just, I don't know if you can hear that or not. I'm going to pause it once the ad goes. Ads, am I right? Let the ad play. I want to make sure this is the right one because I know this is a very contingent topic. 2 ads? Are you kidding me? Where I show M21. Yes, this is the right one. Okay. This is the M21 policy on the VA handing out the highest rating. All right. So if you're curious on that, watch that. Yes, they give you the highest rating. You can take my word for it. You can just watch that, which would consequently be taking my word for it. Okay. Got rated at 30% for sleep apnea because I got diagnosed through the VA. And even though they mentioned treatment could be using CPAP, they did not prescribe anything. Should I do a supplemental claim? If you're going through the VA, you can ask for that. So it's not the CPAP that gives you 50%. It's the treatment for that apnea episode. Okay. CPAP is one of them. There are many, like a mouth guard could also help. There are many different treatments for CPAPs, for sleep apnea. And it's the apnea episode that would rate the CPAP. So if you're prescribed a CPAP, I would do you just got rated, either an increase or a supplemental. It just depends on what your timeline looks at. Okay, where am I at? Jamie Lee. Hey, Clay, thanks to you and the team for all you do for everyone. Any progress on the advanced course? Oh, yes. Okay, so yes, there is. I have this. That's not what I want to show you. Let me actually pull it up. I think I have to show you my screen here. I'll give you the layout. So I did actually put some thought into it the other day. And this is going to be the content. The advanced course that we're talking about right now. Holy baloney. Lots of screens going everywhere. Okay. So this is what the advanced course is going to look like. It's just going to be centered around M21. So the basic course is, man, I'm all over the place right now. Hold on. I know someone's going to ask about the other courses. Okay, so right now we have the basic, and this is the basic. Here's the intermediate. The basic is what every veteran should know. Intermediate is twofold. One, it's what VSOs should know to help other veterans, and then it's how veterans can maximize their own rating. So that's what the basic and intermediate's for. The advanced, which I'm going to complete at some point, is going to be basically on M21 TAC 1. Probably the right here. Probably part 3 through part 6. All of this stuff, not really. Okay. We're going to be looking at from VA disability perspective specifically for veterans. And so exams, the rating process, this is probably going to be the biggest chunk, but it's going to be on how to read and navigate the M21 TAC 1 versus like memorization. Okay. This is coming. I just need to actually sit down and do it. Okay. Great question, though. Thank you for asking. Do you claim bruxism secondary to sleep apnea if the therapist says you grind and clench your teeth? You could. If you have mental health, it's likely to be rated as a symptom under that. Bruxism is a weird one where it's generally rated as a symptom. The only time I've seen it rated by itself was 10%, and that's going to be that dental condition there. How do you know? Gosh dang it. Give me a second. How do you know if your back pay is correct? I wanted to make sure I didn't receive too much or too little. The VA generally gets the back pay correct. I've actually never seen them get that wrong. You're going to have to do some math. So the VA pays in arrears. So for instance, let's say your effective date is January 15th. Okay. Your first paycheck for that is February 1st. But February 1st paycheck is in March. And so from March to now, you can calculate how many paychecks you should have had at that amount. So March, April, May, June, July, August. So you should have 6 times whatever that amount is. And that would be the back pay. That's assuming no debts or anything like that. Okay. I didn't include September because September's check is actually October 1st. And so that's how you would calculate that. All right. Thanks, Clay. I get 2 or 3 headaches a week. That can get severe. Yeah, 100%. That's that. Okay. No matter what, Lynn, if you're not at 50%, do a higher level review. Okay. Make sure to speak on your evidence, exactly what you have here, during your higher level review with an informal conference. No matter what, if you're not at 50. Does a face scar have to hurt or be large for a rating? It has to be. There's a size criteria for that. Especially if there's like a deformation issue, that's a little easier. I'm assuming that's not the case. But yes, size definitely, and pain to the touch. So it's either or. It's like, don't quote me on this. It's 30% of that body part, right? So if you have a tiny little scar that's itty bitty, facial scarring 0%, right? If you have a scar that's huge, that's going to be something for sure. Okay, I'm going to, you're next. All right, let me start this and just make sure we get all the donations up and running. Thank you for being a member, Vian. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the club. Make sure you download Discord, link your account. You're going to want to do that. Same thing with you, Robert Bird. Download Discord. Extremely important step there. I'm going to show you where the link is at. And it is right here. You go to this mediocre YouTube page. I need to change this. I just don't know what else to make it. I think it's pretty. And then the Discord link is not right there. It's right here. Bam. You can click that. You can also just click the link and then it'll be right there. So either or. Okay. Ooh, look at them views. Almost 6 million. So 5.5. Sweet. All right. Climbing up the ladder here. Okay. Love Me Not. Rated at, thank you very much, by the way. Appreciate that. You don't have to do that, but thank you. Rated at 70% PTSD. Put in secondary SSD, so somatic symptom disorder, from lower back pain. VA changed it to an increase, as they should, because those are rated the same. The added symptoms, no. There's the 100% rating criteria for mental health, and then there's a 70, 50, 30, 10. You're most likely, assuming it's granted, service connection, going to be PTSD with SSD at 70%, unless your symptoms from SSD push you into the 100% criteria. But it'll be the symptoms of 100% criteria. And let me just navigate that for you, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like and how to get there. So we're going to go to Gunny Google here. Gunny Google doesn't yell at us, though, so this is nice, right? Nice change of pace here. Mental health. This works for any condition. Just type in your disability. In this case, it's mental health. So you can do IBS, you can do flat feet, whatever. 38 CFR, eCFR. Click this. It's going to be the ecfr.gov. Sometimes you'll see like the law links. You don't need those suckers, okay? Not for this stuff. There is a time and place for lawyers. It's not right now for this little scenario here. We're still zoomed in. Let me zoom out, actually, because that looks weird. It's going to look like that. You just scroll on down, and boom. There's 100% criteria. So total occupational and social impairment due to such symptom as, then there's a semicolon right there, and then there we go. Boom. So if you're SSD, push, or PTSD, you experience these symptoms, that's what will get you to 100%. It's not necessarily SSD specifically. Okay. All right. Back to our we'll answer a couple questions, and then we'll have to speed through the rest of the chats here. Okay. What is the VA max disability rating for plantar fasciitis? And does it fall under bilateral factor? What a great question. We're going to go do exactly what I just did, just to show you that it works for everything, and you can do this yourself, right? Plantar fasciitis, 38 CFR, eCFR. The max is 30%, by the way. Unilateral being 20. I just remember that because I'm a huge nerd. Now, muscles, you see how long this bar is? This is where Control F comes into play. You can't see it on the channel. I just hit Control F. The box popped up. I'm going to type in plantar, and now you can see plantar fasciitis. So this is the loss of use at 40%, which is ankylosis. So we want to go down to 5269, plantar fasciitis, and it's looking at treatment-based ratings. So no relief from both non-surgical and surgical treatment bilateral, and then unilateral at 30 and 20. Plantar fasciitis and flat feet will share a rating. You can only have one rating. It will be the highest. So it'll either say like plantar fasciitis with flat feet at 30% or flat feet with plantar fasciitis at 50%, right? What does it mean in my letter when it says IBS VA claim deferred, additional development? It just means the VA needs more time. Okay. It also says less than likely. Back to your, let me go up to your comment because you did donate, by the way. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's going to be denied. 100%, that's a denied claim. That sucks. So now you have to really look at it. I assume it was secondary. You have to look at the reason for denial and then combat that with evidence. I'm an accredited VSO, and I love watching your vids, brother. I have access to VBMS and share. Awesome. John, I don't know what your accreditation falls under, but if you email me, clay.sims@civdivonline.com, no one else email me. I'm not going to read it. I'm telling you right now, my email, I get hundreds of emails every single week, almost that thousands. I'm not going to read it. Okay. Business purposes, John, if you want to do a live Q&A as a VSO, I would love to have you on. We can broadcast what organization you fall under. If it's state, if it's like a national organization, that's fine too. But I'm always open to do that. There you go. How the F did you learn all this? Yeah. So something I really don't talk about that much. When I read something, I retain it. I retain the shit out of it, for real. So for instance, I'm a big Lord of the Rings nerd. I can tell you a lot about that fake world too. Super pumped for Rings of Power. I don't even care what anyone has to say bad about it. But I just read. When I read something, I retain it really well. Maybe not like at a doctor surgical level, like Doctor Strange's level. But if I read something, I'm going to remember what I read. It's kind of like a superpower. Seriously, though. That's how. That is how. It really helps in grad school at the moment. Okay, what I'm going to do now is let me start this one. I want to make sure we get through all the member comments just to make sure we didn't skip any. And then we'll come back. I'm still waiting. And you're one of them, John. You're one of the two. But I thought you were denied. No, you got 100%. Yes. And now you have some other decisions. But hey, you had 100%. So who cares, right? Unless it's like an SMC. So what, So congrats to you for that. Let's look at happiness. We have had a submittal in May with really good evidence, DBQs, Nexus. Ooh, that's a fully developed. It seems like a fully developed since May. I still won't do anything till 9 months out, but you can definitely reach out to your VSO. I think you're using one, Happiness, if I remember correctly. And if you are, you can definitely reach out and just see if there's any movement on that claim. There, yep, awesome. It was direct, Clayton C. In that case, get evidence for secondary and file the secondary. Okay. How do I get back into Discord? Clicked on link, says unable to invite. I don't know. That should be the link to. Let me just get a fresh one. This one's not going to be a forever link, but I could at least get you a fresh one. Did I just X out of the stream? No. Oh my gosh. Thank goodness. Okay, let me get you a fresh link. If I can figure out. I'm not a Discord genius. That's why we have Nuclear Chicken. But I'm sure I could figure it out. Invite people. Copy. Ha! What a genius. Okay. There's that link. When would you recommend getting an attorney? That is such a good question, dude. For me, I'm going to speak if it was me, right? As if I were doing a new claim, and I wanted an attorney. There's a few reasons. One, I think there may have been a queue, which we don't know what we don't know. The attorney, that's something the attorney brings, is to identify your holistically, right? Your VA claim situation, not just what's current right in front of you. So they also bring that with them. But if I think I have a queue, that's for sure I'm going to them, although they should be the ones to bring that up to you. If you do know, that's kind of amazing. That's number one. Number two is for these two appeals, which are supplemental claims and, of course, the Board of Appeals. I would definitely recommend an attorney. The supplemental claim is kind of iffy because if the veteran has the know-how and they understand how to read a decision letter and saying, hey, I was not diagnosed. Okay, let me go get a diagnosis. That's easy. if the veteran is battling the in-service event and they're relying on lay evidence like statements or personnel records, a lawyer could definitely help that battle. Reductions, almost always, I would recommend an attorney. And there's probably a few more, but those are definitely the top reasons. And then, of course, there's that, you don't want to deal with it. You are already denied, so go with an attorney and let them deal with it. I'm not a fan of that, but the VA expects veterans and VSOs to know all this stuff. Sometimes it's too much. I don't know what you have going on in your life, whatever that looks like for you. But if you are extremely busy or you just don't want to dedicate the bandwidth to understand that I could at least agree with that. Okay. Okay. Bobby D's not a member, but I definitely want to shout you out because you're a long-time fan of the show. She wants me to do more one-on-ones. She just needs 10% more. So here's the deal. Okay, Bobby. And this is for, I love your name, by the way, Bobby D's. Here's the deal on one-on-ones. And this is kind of breaking news. So if you're watching this is the first time I've spoke about this. I am going to quit my job at some point and do YouTube full time. I think I'm in that place now, which I'm very grateful for, dude. I just can't express that in words. And when that happened, which is going to be not tomorrow, it's going to be in a few months. But when I do quit my job and do this full time, I'm probably going to do a call-in show like live. You ever see Dave Ramsey where people call in and they have one-on-ones there? That's what I want to do, but for one-on-one claims for VA disability. To keep it anonymous, you'll have to send me decision letters if you want me to speak on appeal. So you're going to have to redact them. If not, then we just don't talk on denials. And so it'll be at that pace. That's the plan. Okay, probably summertime. You can look for that in summertime. Yes, it's in a while. I know that, but that's my plan. So if you're hearing that for the first time, there it is. That's the CivDiv's plan. We're almost there. All right, thanks for your answer on mental health 38 CFR. I was more specifically asking for non-static. Yeah, J Sweep. If it's not a static condition and you're reevaluated, the answer is yes. Okay, which could be good, which could be bad. All right. Could be good, could be bad. All right, let me make sure we didn't skip anything. Do you know how much about navigating M21 Part 8? Let me go look at Part 8 real quick. If you can understand M21, you can understand anything. Special compensation issues. No, I don't. I'll have to take a deep dive into it. If you have a specific question that time, definitely put it in Discord. That's something that's going to take me a few minutes to really deep dive into. And there it is, special monthly comp. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at don't change your page, Clay. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Got my CMP scheduled with the VA's contractor. It's with the NP for 3 hours. Any thoughts? I'm not a fan of CMP contracted exams at all, especially when they are nurse practitioners. My thoughts are to speak in the formula. I'm going to link a video for you because this is probably, of all the videos I make, I need to make a playlist of like the most important videos because you can watch 10 of my videos and know what you need to know. You don't have to watch all 400 of them. It is something along the lines of use this method, the CivDiv. Is that what it is? Nope. Yes. Okay. Ooh, can I pause that? If you can see that formula, that's what you need. Okay. Green, you can kind of see the formula there. The video explains that on how to speak to a CMP examiner because you speak through the big three. That's what matters. All this, it affects my life baloney. That is some YouTube phenomena stuff that honestly does not matter. No one cares how bad this affects your life. What matters is the big three, okay, according to 38 CFR and M21 TAC 1. So, for instance, your knee condition, range of motion, ain't got nothing to do with how that affects your life. Unless you're talking like the loss of use, range of motion is what matters. So I'm going to post that for you, dude. And that's the CMP, how to speak to a CMP examiner. Clay or moderator, Discord link. Want to accept link. Okay, I hope that new link worked for you. If it didn't that time, you can email me too. Just put Discord in the subject line, and then I can work with you right after this, actually. I'll go pick up my kids. Okay, on my physical profile for the guard, it states pauses in breathing and soldier requires use of CPAP count as severance evidence. It can. So the guard's a different beast, okay, but it absolutely can. You have evidence while you were on drill or wherever that looked like for you. It definitely depends on where that stems from, okay? I see the donations up top. Don't worry, I'll get to those. I'm just kind of going in order. Just as a side note, other people are using the original link to join Discord in the last 15 minutes. Okay, perfect. So it's up. And there's that's not a forever link. The forever link is on my profile. I want to make sure. Awesome news, Clay. Thank you, dude. I can't wait. If that's the case that time, you need to definitely email me, okay? Screenshot whatever you're looking at, email me. You might just have to log in with the email. You might already have an account. All right, David Dottie. I've seen your name many, many times. Thank you for being a fan of the channel. I believe you're a longtime fan as well. Haven't seen your name in a while. So welcome back. And Machine Man, do nightmares of a specific instance during my time count as PTSD? That's a major symptom of, I think it's reoccurring thoughts. Reoccurring nightmares would be like the good way to say it. But yeah, so whatever instance that is, reoccurring thoughts is definitely one. I would give you an example, but that would definitely be a little TMI for me on a live stream. Okay, but yes, that is fantastic evidence. Well, it's evidence that you have reoccurring thoughts of an event. You still need to prove the event. Okay. So you having nightmares doesn't necessarily prove that the event took place. There's also a more severe thing like psychosis. That's way above my head when it comes to that. Yep, just send me an email that time, clay.sims@TheCivDiv online. And there's nuclear chicken. Okay. All right. Can VA deny fibro due to underlying cause could be caused by my diagnosis? So fibromyalgia is under MUCMI, which is, I said that wrong last time, so I don't want to say it wrong this time. It is medically unexplained chronic multi-symptom illness. That's MUCMI. The VA can deny caused by my diagnosed low vitamin D. Low vitamin D as a cause for fibro, I think that's a very far, that's the same reach it takes to diagnose fibro would be the same reach for low vitamin D. And not everyone who has low vitamin D has fibro. So the VA can do whatever they want. I don't think that's a strong reason for denial though. And you have a fibro diagnosis, which honestly is not that common. It's very difficult to diagnose that. Hit the thumbs up for Clay. Yes, please. I definitely appreciate it. Okay, that is enough for today. I have to go pick up my kids. Then I have to do the rest of my schoolwork. I wanted to do this live stream because I missed yesterday. I'm trying to do them on Sundays, but I'm back helping at my local church on Sunday, so difficult for me. If you came out, thank you very much. Hit like, subscribe, do all the things. I appreciate it. And till next time, all right? Look up for Sunday for another live stream, and I'll see you then. All right, later. Peace.